What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, two-division world champion, who currently is the WBC reigning middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Jermall Lions Only Charlo, 32 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, stands at 6 feet tall with a 73-inch arm reach. With that said, Jermall Charlo has made his presence felt at the highly anticipated super middleweight undisputed showdown between four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the unified super middleweight WBC, WBA, WBO, Ring Magazine super middleweight world champion superstar boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez. 56 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 38 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. With that said, he'll be taking on undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. 21 wins, no losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout. 29 years of age, stands at 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant are scheduled to have a showdown tonight or tomorrow night, okay? And we know Jermall Charlo is on hand and he's making his presence felt, okay? Jermall Charlo, he's seen approaching Caleb Plant after the weigh-in today, the highly anticipated weigh-in, entertaining weigh-in. And Jermall Charlo, he approaches Caleb Plant and he tells Caleb Plant that he wants him to knock out and dominate Canelo Alvarez. Says, I'm on your side. We'll eventually meet up, but I'm on your side, and I want you to get the dub. I want you to knock out and beat Canelo Alvarez. Just be safe by doing so, okay? And so when asked about his thoughts on Jermall Charlo siding with Caleb Plant, and, in a Spanish interview, Canelo Alvarez, he responds, and he says, it's no problem. He'll knock out Jermall Charlo after this as well, okay? So we know Jermall Charlo, he was Canelo Alvarez, WBC mandatory challenger at 160, and that's when the whole franchise title was introduced to the boxing world by the World Boxing Council President Mauricio Suleiman, okay? They franchised Canelo Alvarez so he didn't have to face his mandatory in Jermall Charlo. And so from that point on, Jermall Charlo has actually been looking to fight Canelo Alvarez since he was at junior middleweight at 154. Then he followed him up to 160. And now Jermall Charlo is stating that he's willing to go to 168 and fight Canelo Alvarez as well, okay? So with that said, Canelo Alvarez said he has no problem knocking out Jermall Charlo as well after he knocks out Caleb Plant. He reiterates that he doesn't think this fight with he and Caleb Plant is going to go past 8-9 rounds. He'll be surprised if it does. Okay, so you can clearly hear Jermall Charlo telling Caleb Plant he wants him to win, and Caleb Plant's team is, Caleb Plant tells Jermall Charlo, I'm focused right now. I'm focused on this fight. I'm focused on the task at hand. And Jermall Charlo, he tells Caleb Plant, yeah, no worries. I want you to win. I'm with you. I'm on your side. What you think? I like Canelo Alvarez? I don't like Canelo Alvarez. I'm on your side, okay? And he says that I want you to win this fight. I want you to dominate this fight. I just want you to be safe in doing it, and then we'll fight, okay? So that's what Jermall Charlo had to say when it came to, this situation between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. So listen to Jermall Charlo and what he's saying. So you can hear Jermall Charlo telling Caleb Plant, I want you to win. I'm on your side. Just be safe while you're in there. And make sure you get that dub. And we're going to fight. And Caleb Plant is saying, I'm focused right now. I'm only focusing on Canelo Alvarez. And here's when Jermall Charlo is telling him, I'm on your side. I understand. So he says, I'm with you. Don't act like that. He's telling Caleb Plant, don't act like that. I'm with you. So you hear... So he says, you can hear him, Jermall Charlo say, I'm not with Canelo. I don't like Canelo. I don't like Canelo. So you hear Jermall Charlo saying, I don't like Canelo. I don't like him. So Canelo Alvarez, he does an interview as well. And it's a Spanish network in which Canelo Alvarez, he does an interview. And he's asked about his thoughts on this. And Canelo Alvarez, he says he don't mind knocking out Jermall Charlo next. Now, obviously, should Canelo win this fight against Caleb Plant, he is going to be the undisputed first-time super middleweight world champion in the history of the sport of boxing. And he becomes, first Mexican undisputed belt holder as well. Okay, so he creates history 2 times over. If Caleb Plant wins, he creates history. He becomes the first super middleweight world champion. But Canelo Alvarez, he creates history 2 times over should he win. Okay. Now, many people wonder and they speculate, is Canelo Alvarez going to stay at 168? Now, we know he's a 4-division champion, 154, 160, 168, 175. There's big fights at 175 as well. There's the fight with Artur Beterbiev. There's the fight with Dmitry Bivol. After he beat Sergey Crusher Kovalev, who was the WBO light heavyweight world champion. So there's speculation. Is he going to go up there and fight Artur Beterbiev? Is he going to go up there and fight Dmitry Bivol? What is he going to do? Is his next move going to be Canelo Alvarez? He stated, now this fight is with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, with founder advisor Al Heyman, and it's on pay-per-view Showtime. Okay. So Canelo Alvarez, he stated, he's a network free agent. So he moves how he so chooses. He's not tied to any promotional company or any promoter for that matter, after he got his way and bought his way out of his contract with Golden Boy Promotions with legendary retired Hall of Famer Oscar De La Hoya. So Canelo Alvarez, he made it very clear that he loved the business he's doing with Al Heyman and with the PBC, and they made him feel very welcomed and very comfortable. Now, he's been on Showtime before, been on Showtime pay-per-view. He's done business with Al Heyman before. This is not the first time. But he says as his free agent and as his own promoter, he's loving what he's getting from them, okay, and how he's treated. So don't be surprised to see him stick around after this fight with Caleb Plant. Now, prior to this fight agreement with Caleb Plant, there was a lot of talks that the PBC wanted Canelo Alvarez to sign a 2 to 3 fight deal to have him fight former 2-time super middleweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer David Benavidez, who's undefeated. That would be a huge Mexican showdown, maybe Cinco de Mayo, defending his titles. David Benavidez, he was the WBC super middleweight champion 2 times over. He's never lost it in the ring. He's lost it outside the ring. He actually lost it on the scales. Thus the reason why Canelo Alvarez campaigned to fight for the vacant WBC title against Caleb Smith in a unification bout, which he beat Caleb Smith and picked up the WBC and the WBA. Okay. And so there's also the Jermall Charlo fight looming. So there's speculation. Is he going to stay and stick around? Now, he could go to light heavyweight, where he could go back with his co-promoter, Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn, and on DAZN, and they have Dmitry Bivol, light heavyweight, WBA world champion, who's undefeated, 18 wins, no loss, and no draws, 11 wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age, stands 6 feet tall with a 70-inch armage, okay? He's the WBA light heavyweight champion, and there was actually talks that Canelo Alvarez could possibly face Dmitry Bivol after the initial negotiations fell through, between him and Caleb Plant. It seemed like they were scheduled to fight in September, but it fell through because of some wording in the contract. And Caleb Plant stated that Canelo Alvarez was being a diva and asking for everything under the sun, and they were unwilling to do so, okay? He wanted a one-way rematch clause where if he got injured, had to get pulled from the fight. Caleb Plant had to wait for him. But if Caleb Plant got injured, then Canelo Alvarez could go ahead and fight whomever he want for the same amount of money, and they weren't going for that. Now, there's also another big name at light heavyweight, Artur Beterbiev, 16 wins, no losses, no draws, 16 wins by way of knockout, 36 years of age, 5'11.5" with a 73-inch arm reach. He's scheduled to face Marcus Brown December 17th and defend his WBC and IBF titles, okay? He won in a unification bout against Alexander Glavsdik. You know, that was back in October 2019. He won that fight in unification bout. So he's the unified light heavyweight champion. So there's big fights for him. But he made it be clear that he loves the position he's in. Again, many people call for a fight between himself and David Benavidez and feel like he's been avoiding David Benavidez. Now, Canelo Alvarez is on record stating that he didn't want to fight any more Mexican fighters, okay? So David Benavidez, undefeated, 24 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 6'1" with a 75-inch arm reach. Okay, he's scheduled to fight next week against Kyron Davis, okay? He's looking to regain his titles. So that would be enormous Cinco de Mayo weekend showdown with two Mexican fighters, okay? Now, Jermall Charlo's on record. David Benavidez has been calling out Canelo Alvarez, and he's been calling out Jermall Charlo as well. And Jermall Charlo is unwilling to oblige and move up to super middleweight, said that he's a middleweight, not a super middleweight when it comes to David Benavidez. So we got to see how this unfolds. But Canelo Alvarez responds with a classic response. I'll knock him out too. Same sentiments he uttered when it came to Olympic gold medalist, retired Hall of Famer, undisputed former pound-for-pound king, Andre S.O.G. Ward, who's helping train Caleb Plant. And Andre Ward said that this fight is not going to go the distance, and he's picking Caleb Plant. And there was whispers that Andre Ward could possibly come back to fight Canelo Alvarez should he be victorious. And he said Andre Ward seems to want to come back, and I'll knock him out too. He says, I'm in the prime of my career, absolute prime. And Jermall Charlo, David Benavidez, Andre Ward, and nor can Caleb Plant beat me. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.